I did this great project in the special election in Arizona in 2018. And this was a district, it was a lot like the Acton Bain campaign. This is like around Sun City, Arizona. And so it was a pilot project, and I just went in there, and me and these two great kids, Jacob and Luis, people would walk into their office. And I have this theory that like the best campaign offices, the best communities sometimes are formed in the shittiest campaign offices. This was like a strip mall space where the flooring had been ripped up and it was like rubble. Like it was just there was no signage in the front. We were like in between a veterinary and like a smoke shop, and we had no sign, and there was like a post in front of our door. I mean, it was just the worst. And the community that came into being there was astounding. Like within like 2 weeks, because it came into being very quickly. And like 2 weeks in, there was like a family there. And it was like, in like the TV show Cheers, like people would walk in the door and we would literally just yell, Norm! If I have anything to show from all of this, it's great stories. Um, so I'm standing there inside the door of this campaign office in Arizona. And there's a woman talking to Jacob and Luis. If people wanted to canvass or call, they talk to Jacob and Luis. If they wanted to do other things, they talk to me. So I'm trying to figure, I'm like, we need a sign for this office. People can't find it. They don't know it's here from the road. And so I had bought a 4x8 sheet of plywood and had it sawed in half. And I bought some hinges and it was like lying up against the wall. And I was like, I need a screwdriver so I can screw this thing together and make like a sandwich board. So this guy's just standing there. So I'm like, dude, you didn't have a screwdriver I could borrow or something. He's like, what do you need it for? I said, I'm trying to make the sign. And he said, well, I'm a professional sign painter. And I was like, what are the odds? Like the magic in this campaign office was so amazing that I picked this random guy out of a hat, and he's a guy who actually goes up and paints billboards by hand. That's what so he said, throw it in the back of my truck. Tell me what design you want. So he made this sandwich board sign that said Democrats office with a donkey on it. And we would lug that thing out by the street to by where people would pull off the street into the strip mall. And people would be driving down the street and just go, grr, and come into the mall and then drive around trying to find us because we were still behind a post. And people just showed up in droves because we were there, and the idea that just by being present, that there were people who were like driving around in Peoria, Arizona, with Trump in office, feeling like they were disconnected from everything, see a sign and say, oh my God, I need to come in and find my people. And that having a physical space is a huge part of that, is like being able to be found in the real world by people who are just feeling lost and alone and don't know where their people are. And that created a kind of like magic, a kind of energy. And there had not been a campaign office in that area in 30 years or something. And candidates had been routinely losing by 25 points. We lost that special election by 4.9 points. We outperformed previous elections by 20 points. It was amazing. We didn't win though. But then what happened is the candidate ran again in the fall, like because this was a spring special election, and then there was an election again in the fall. And the DCCC came in and she basically canned everybody, like moved to a new office, hired a bunch of outside people. There was this incredible community with people with roles and doing things, and they just chucked it all out. They closed the office. It gutted people. Like it hurt. It still hurts that we built, and so that campaign really, and I love those people. Like just there's this whole crew of amazing people that became a community and then had it ripped out from under them. And that's when I really started thinking of this work as being about community building. that community, that the building, that the special, the sort of the secret sauce of the whole thing was the community building, and that it did need physical spaces.